Hey Flosstube, welcome to my channel littlelionstitchery. I'm Stephanie and it's been a while. So, not only am I dealing with my wedding, I'm dealing with my sister's wedding because I'm her maid of honor. It's just been craziness, and plus everything that's going on right now. I'll explain in more detail later on in the video. What else as far as that concerned? I've just been really busy, haven't had so much time to cross stitch, especially because after my laser eye surgery, it was harder to cross stitch at night. So I've been taking a break from, I guess, my projects that are on darker fabrics and using lighter fabrics. Although during the day, I could still cross stitch on darker fabrics just fine. I should have taken a sip of water. I don't know where my water bottle is right now. My throat's a little dry. What was I saying? So I've been stitching on lighter fabrics, although during the day. But I don't have a lot of daylight because, I work and stuff. So I wasn't having a lot of daylight to cross stitch, basically. So, the last few weeks have been craziness. So I guess we'll start with my stitching, and then I'll tell you more about life updates later. So first we have, it's almost done. I posted a whip of it in, let's see, it's kind of the color. I posted a whip on my Instagram. You can follow me at littlelionstitchery. It's also linked in the description. So this is She Is Fierce by Stitchrovia. I will also link that in the description as well. Yeah, so I changed the colors. I'm liking. I might do another one. So this is for my coworker's mother because they just found out recently that she has cancer. So I thought I would design this, or not design, but I thought I would stitch this for her because, I don't know, I like doing little acts of kindness like that. I don't know, I just feel like when someone gets like a handmade gift, then it's just really nice. So, but it was also my coworker's birthday, so I might do, so instead of like the teals and purples that I have going on, I think I'm going to do like all pink because I know she loves blush pink. So I might do maybe like a golden pink variation. And then I also want to do one for myself because I really, really like the pattern. I think it's cute. I don't know, it's just nice for every woman to have. So yeah, I want to do probably a blue and yellow one for myself. I saw a blue and yellow one on Reddit that I really liked. So yeah, that's that. And these are the original colors. Like so. But yeah, so I changed it up for sure. And hopefully that'll be done the next week. So I just have like some more stitching to do in here and over on this side. Actually, some in here. There's a lot of little bits everywhere, but I think I can get it done within the next week. We'll see, just because, like I said, I will update you later on about what's been going on. So let's see. So next, let's just close this really fast. Come on. Oh, there's the blue and yellow one that I liked on Reddit. So that's the blue and yellow one that I really like. So, like I said, I really want to do one for myself too, because it's a really cute pattern. It's smaller, so it's easier to do. I just did mine on some scrap fabric, like a big enough piece of scrap fabric that I had. Come on, let's go. People are waiting. Alright, here we go. So, as you remember, I got this pattern for Valentine's Day, and I think I showed you guys that I'm working on it. I did a little bit of it. Like I said, my eyesight was kind of really bad with the black fabric after my surgery, but it's recovering. But obviously, I don't know if I could still work on black at night. It's still a little difficult. I think I was using my lamp and it was fine. I also just don't like using the harsh light of my lamp. I don't know. I mean, I will sometimes, but I'd rather keep it But whatever. Okay, so this is what I've been working on. And I did like a little bit of the flower over here. So you see how it says Harvest, because this is the chock full Harvest by Hands On Design. So Harvest, but I want to change it to say Radzins and then the date that we're getting married. So I mocked that up in Photoshop and stitched it to make sure I liked how it is. Yeah, I think that'll work. I might still make a little tweaks here and there, but this is what I have, and I think it came out really cute. If it will focus, that'd be dandy. Focus. There we go. Come on, you can do it. I believe in you. So yeah. So it's gonna say Radzins. I tried putting the, but I don't know, it wasn't looking right. So I'm just gonna have Radzins and then establish 2020. That's gonna go where like the Mason part is. Yeah, so I think that's gonna come out really cute when I get around to that. Very excited. I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you like the scripty font? You can read that this says Radzins, right? R-A-D-Z-I-N-S. Because yeah, that's gonna be my new last name. And then of course we have, I've been working, oh man, this is, I feel like never gonna get done. But I've been slowly but surely working on this. Come on, focus. And then as I pull it up here, cross-stitch. Sorry. So, hold on. I'm just trying to bring up the picture real quick so I have that to show you. Okay. So I've just been doing a lot of this. I don't know if you can tell there's a dark brown and a lighter brown. You can kind of see when I turn it. So I've been filling in a lot of that darker brown. I feel like we're making some headway. Like I said, very slowly, but I'm sorry, I don't think the colors are coming up that well. Everything's very like desaturated because it's overcast out today. But yeah, it's getting there. Her hair. So those lines are where the beads are gonna go. I thought it would be easier just to do all the stitching first and then wash it and then, well, not all the stitching. I just want to do all the DMC stitching first and then wash it and then do the Karen water lilies, and then I think, I don't remember if those are silk. I know that I think there is some silk and there's some whisper, like I think in her hair, and then maybe her dress too. I don't remember, but there's some whisper, but it's gonna add some cool texture. I'm excited about that. And then I'll add her beads, and yeah, she should be all finished. But like I said, still got a lot of ways to go. And that's pretty much all I have for stitching. Sorry, I'm itchy. I don't know if you keep seeing me scratch my hands. My hands are really bad right now. I have either psoriasis or eczema. I don't know. When I went to a skin doctor, he couldn't tell me which it was. So I might have both. I don't know. I don't trust doctors because I've had very bad experiences with doctors. I don't know. So because of okay, I've taken I remember one time I had strep and I took a test for strep and the test came back negative. And then the doctor was examining me, and he's like, well, you have 4 of the 5 signs of strep. I think we should prescribe you some strep medication or antibiotics. So this whole thing with the coronavirus and saying some people test negative, it's I feel like I would be one of those people. So right now, okay, I'm having a lot of issues with the company that I work for. Well, maybe we should start back a few weeks ago because I missed a few weeks. So I got fitted for my dress. I was just supposed to go and try it on, and they ended up fitting my top portion. So I don't think you could really tell right now, but especially because I have a cotton sports bra on, which is doing nothing. But I'm rather large chested, so I had to get a size, and I'm very petite. I don't know if you can, whatever, don't judge the video, but I'm 5'2", and a 32 at my rib cage here, so it's just I'm very petite, and I had to get a size 12 dress because of this going on here. And then I felt like when they were fitting me, so they did it very quickly. Like the woman, she was a younger person, probably not. I know they have 2 seamstresses there. This woman, I feel like, was younger and did not have as much experience, and I felt like I just wasn't being listened to. So we bought my dress a bunch of sizes too big, because I'm probably like, I don't know. I know clothes always fit different, but usually I'm like a size 6, size 8, probably a size 8 more so. I mean, it depends. It depends on the fabric, if it's stretchy, like whatever. But like, I feel like my bottoms are usually, I mean, again, jean sizes, whatever. I have jeans that are like a size 2 all the way up to like a size 9. So, but like, I would say at the most part I'm around like an 8, a 6 and 8. Let's just leave it at that. But we had to get a dress as a size 12, which is expected because I remember when I had to get my prom dress, it was also a size 12. And I'm about the same size, maybe a little bit filled out, I don't know. Anyway, but so this was a younger seamstress, and she just quickly just took some eye measurements, but like in 5 minutes, because she had other appointments. But since I was there, the woman that I was working with was nice enough to ask her to fit me really quick. So she did that, but I was kind of really like uncomfortable because she kept, so you take the fabric in at the sides, but she was pulling it from both sides as opposed to like the back. And I didn't even have it happened so fast, like I didn't have enough time to like think about it more, but she was pulling them in for both sides, and then my boobs were like going up and in, and you've seen pictures. I don't know if I feel like bringing the pictures up right now. I don't have my phone on me. Sorry if you can hear like the earthquake. My cat's running up and down his cat tree. So it's lower in the front, which is fine. And the images that I saw online, like especially the plus size model, like they separate and they come around and it fits nicely. So I would like that same kind of thing, not having my boobs like hang out of my dress, because that's, I mean, to each their own, but that's not my thing. I'm a very like modest and conservative. Like I try to cover them up as much as possible, because I don't like to flaunt anything. Not that I like, because I have to try very little for them to be flaunted. It's very annoying. So like I'm saying, she's pulling them in for the sides. My boobs are coming out of the cups, and she's just like, oh, we could just put some fabric in the middle. And I'm like, I don't want to put fabric in the middle. I want it to fit properly. I just want it to fit properly. But anyway, so they measure me, I leave, whatever, and then I'm like freaking out, and I call them back, and I'm like, please don't do. She also told me that I should wear undergarments under it, which is weird, because, I mean, not that I'm going to go commando or anything, but like, as far as the top goes, it's a very structured top. And it's strapless, so I was going to get away with not wearing a bra. And then she told me I had to wear a long line top, which I would have to get custom made, but she already took the measurements, so I don't understand why she would sew it if she's telling me I need to wear undergarments, because usually you would wait until you had that, which I'm not doing anyway. Like I said, it's a very structured top. It has boning, it has lining, it has like everything. It's a very thick material. It's got layers and layers of fabric. It's very thick. Even when she was pinning it, she's like, whoa, this is really thick. So like, I don't understand why she's telling me I need to wear something for more support or whatever, and when I think the dress gives plenty of support. And if anything, we would need to sew something into the dress because of the like plunging front. So I don't know. I'm not quite happy that, I didn't feel like I was being listened to, and like, I understand it was very quick because it was in between other appointments, and I appreciated that, especially with the time constraints and everything. But I don't know. We will see, I guess, my next fitting, if I have a next fitting, because of the whole everything that's going on. And then I was also working on stuff for my sister's wedding, because whatever. And then I'm throwing the shower, obviously, which is now canceled. And everyone's messaging me like I have all the answers. I was asked if I have a backup plan. I'm like, the whole state, my state hasn't been like shut down yet or whatever. But it's like, it's pretty chaotic here. Like, a lot of things are being shut down and you know, reorganized and whatever. So it's just like, no, I don't have a backup plan. Like, as of right now, it's being canceled. And then my sister just confirmed that she pushed the wedding back until August 22nd. So hopefully we can throw her a shower in that time. I'm not really sure. But, like, her fiance messaged me the other day. He's like, did you tell everyone it's canceled? I'm like, I messaged the people that responded to me that it's canceled, because a lot of people also didn't respond to me. I think, like, maybe 10 people out of 40-something people responded. And he's like, oh, well, let me know which ones, and I'll get back to you. I'll give you the information. I'm like, why can't you just tell your family it's canceled? Like, why are you putting all this on me? I have my own stuff to worry about. It's very frustrating. So not only have I been dealing with that, but I've been dealing with this whole coronavirus situation, like I'm sure many of you have been. So the company I work for is a type of company that's just like, we don't have to shut down. We're not shutting down, even though it's been... So that's the thing. Unless they make something mandatory, which I think they are pretty soon, but unless they make something mandatory, my boss is just like, oh, we don't have to do that. Not, like, it's fine. So, like, I'm sure we've all been exposed at this point, like my office, because we keep just going to work, and our building, or our office isn't just us. It's a building of people. And most of the people have vacated the building, but there's still a few offices that are still refusing to close their offices. And I work for a software company, so all of our jobs can be done remotely. My boss clearly just doesn't trust us, because as of recently, I was also being told, because we were forced to go to work. Meanwhile, there's a few people at the office who are coughing, who are blowing their nose while we're having meetings, like in a small glass conference room. I mentioned it's glass because it's not important. It's just, I don't know. It was a bad situation. But anyway, we were being forced to go to work, and then, of course, my coworker and I got sick because we were stuck in a conference room with these people. Not bad, just like a sore throat. She had a little bit of a cough. I had like a little bit of a sore throat. I also wasn't feeling well because, you know, it was becoming my time of the month, but I didn't know because I was experiencing like very just like under the weather kind of like flu-like symptoms. So like I didn't know, but my boss is like, we have to take PTO. And I'm just like, why do I have to, with everything that's going on, you're going to force me to take PTO when I can work from home? And that's kind of how my coworker, you know, she's got some stuff going on in her life, one of which, like, her husband has asthma, so she's not allowed to, like, basically, everyone has their own problems. Like, I have elderly family that I should not that I was in contact with them because I obviously wouldn't want to pass anything to them. But it's very upsetting that my boss, like, you have to, like, they're very invasive of people's privacy, which I don't like. And they also feel free to tell everyone else's business. So, you know, during the first few weeks of this, when it started getting bad, they were like, oh, well, so-and-so is working from home. Like, they would name the person because of whatever their illness or, you know, is. And it's just like, you can't spread other people's information. Like, also, personally, my coworker and I, we were always like, why are you telling us these things? Like, honestly, we don't care. We don't care who else is sick. We're concerned about our own safety. Not to be rude or anything, but, like, you shouldn't be telling us other people's business. Like, it's none of our business. You know what I mean? Like, it's none of our business. So, but basically I was forced to go home and take PTO. Just ridiculous. Really mad. So then the following week on Monday, my coworker also took PTO. She took PTO also the previous week. But Monday she took PTO, and she's, you know, we're friendly, so she's messaging me. She's like, oh, I just received this email, but I'm not going to respond to it because I'm not supposed to be working today. So, because basically, my office, they're like so dependent on my coworker and me that, like, they can't do anything for themselves. So, like, they're really bad at responding to email, which my coworker usually takes care of because they just can't function. I don't know, without other people. It's really weird. Anyway, so she's like, I'm not gonna respond to this, and then I think it was like really, really late in the day. Basically, my boss is just, sorry if you heard that. Sorry, I upgraded some parts for my computer, and I just got a shipment. Anyway, so I don't know, my boss just thinks it's business as usual, and it's like the whole world is crumbling around him, and he's just like, it's fine. So later in the week, this past Wednesday, late, I had I think an hour and a half of work left. I was on my break, and I knew that my father-in-law, or soon-to-be father-in-law, for the ease of this story, had been sick since, I think he said Saturday, with a fever. So this is a Wednesday night. A drive-through clinic opened up in Marlboro. Oops. Whatever. Opened up in this town. You're not going to know who he is. It's a big town. Whatever. Opened up in the town that he's in. And he went, but they ran out of the COVID-19 tests. But they checked him for strep, they checked him for flu, and he came back negative for both of those. But the moral of the story is they ran out of tests. Similarly, the night before, so this was a Tuesday night, Mike works in a huge building in New York. He works for a big company, but they're also, they take up most of the building, but also I think other people are in the building, whatever. But a notice went around saying that someone was tested positive in the building. Not in his office, not on his floor. There's a very big gap between the floors. It honestly doesn't matter, because I guarantee in the huge building that he works in, more people are testing positive. I don't understand these people that are like, I don't know, either if you haven't tested positive yet doesn't mean you don't have it, or even if you have tested and tested negative, you could still be carrying it. I'm just I'm not panicked or anything. I'm not freaking out about it, but I'm just very concerned and don't want to pass it on to people that I know. So I'm trying to distance myself as much as possible, and I feel like, including at work, they're not. They're not cautious at all. They just tell us to wash our hands, and I'm like, okay. Especially when I'm out. I had to make a run somewhere, or even when Michael run out to the grocery store, and he's like, nobody is keeping their distance from me. I don't know. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. So anyway, like I said, I heard that he was getting tested, basically, and then I was like, okay, I have to tell my boss, because I don't think I should be at work, for everyone's safety. And basically, he made me leave, made me take an office phone, which was very weird, because I haven't used it anyway, because I've been using my cell phone. It won't call out. It's like I have to take my laptop. I have a desktop and a laptop. So I'm upgrading my desktop. I set it up. It hasn't been set up in years. A lot of the software was old on it. I upgraded the operating system. I just upgraded. So basically Thursday, when I was working from home, I don't know why I put that in quotes. I was working from home on Thursday. But a lot of it was maintenance stuff. I was doing stuff on my laptop. But I was also updating my workstation and whatever. And of course, so Thursday, I'm also dealing with, Wednesday night. So Wednesday night after work, my boss decides to call me at home on my cell phone, not once, but twice, because he had sent me an email, which I obviously wasn't going to check until the next day, because I'm not working anymore. Or I'm not, it's my off hours, and I'm playing video games with my loving fiance. So he calls me, asking for specifics of the situation. And then he's, of course, like, oh, you don't have to give me any personal information, but it's like you're asking for personal information. Not that I have anything to hide, but, he's asking for very detailed things, because he's, basically putting all the onus on me, whether he needs to close the office or not. And I'm just he's telling me to take a test, and I'm like, okay, I can't take a test because there's a shortage of tests, and I don't have symptoms. Anyway, he's like, oh, but you should take a test, and your fiance should take a test, and his dad should really take a test. And I'm trying to explain to him that they don't have tests of, like, but basically he's like, you need to get on that ASAP because, but he also thinks it's going to happen like that. Like, if you take the test, it takes like 3 or 4 days to get back to you. Not only that, my test can come back negative, even if I am positive. Like, there's just so many things. Like, stop putting the onus on me. You need to close your office. Everyone is perfectly capable of working from home, but he has no trust for anyone. It's just, sorry about this rant, but it's been really driving me insane. So Thursday when I'm working from home, I'm getting calls from our HR, that time I meant quotes, HR person, because she's not qualified to be an HR person. She's a glorified secretary. Because every time I have either a payroll or an HR question, she never knows it and directs me somewhere else. And I'm just, ugh. Anyway, so she calls. She's like, as the HR person. And I'm just like, what are you talking about as the HR person? You are a terrible HR person, because she has said inappropriate, unprofessional, racist, and sexist stuff. Like, my office is so, like, my company, the management in the company is so unprofessional, it's ridiculous. So she calls me asking for details about who, what, when, where, and I tell her the information, and of course also that's not good enough. She's like, well, there's a place that just opened up in that town that your parents in-law, or that your in-laws reside in, and I'm just like trying to explain to her that there's no testing, and she's like, and then I get an email from her. Mike just woke up. What's up, baby? Can you not put your underwear? What are you doing? Your
Stitches get stitches.
Please stop it. My life. One day I might kill him in his sleep, but it'll be after a long, lovely life together, hopefully. I have to write I'll tell you about the rabbi thing later. Okay. Hold on. Coronavirus rant. Let me remember. So, coronavirus. So she's calling me, so she sends me an email with an article that says this drive-thru just opened up in that town. And I'm like, that's great. We already knew this. And I explained to her, I gave her a number of the doctor that I called, one of the local urgent cares. I called them asking about the coronavirus. On their website it says, we do not have tests for people. So there's a few in my town. So the one I called was Eatontown, and they said, because you don't have symptoms, you can go get tested in Ocean, and they should be able to help you with that. I called the Ocean place, and they do not have tests. They are not testing people who do not have symptoms. Like, all of these things. And I'm like, okay, how do I get notice for my employment because they are driving me insane? And he's like, well, you can have them call me and I'll explain to them the situation. Because I'm like, can you provide an email, any kind of notification, like any kind of documentation, basically. And he's like, lady, I'm busy with things. Like, I don't understand. They think their company is the most important company because, like, they're also, like, all these people that are our clients and everything, they're also dealing with their own situations, and they're just like, why aren't they responding to us? I don't know. It's just crazy. Crazy. They think they're the center of the universe, and they're so important when they're not. So, basically, this doctor's like, have her call me, and I will explain the situation. Because also, I'm not one of those, like, people who call police over stupid, frivolous crap. It bothers the crap out of me. Because, like, they're trying to do their jobs and keep people safe, and you're wasting their time with your stupid little, domestic disputes of, like, false... Just when people, like, call the police over stupid crap. Like just stupid crap. Obviously domestic disputes can be a big thing, but, like, sometimes it's just, like, from personal experience, I've had cases where it was just BS crap, and that just... Anyway, so basically, these doctors have more important things to worry about than me and my non-existent symptoms. Anyway, so I sent her an email back, very politely, insisting for her to call this number of the urgent care local to me, and they will explain that they are not doing tests, because she keeps insisting that I can get a test. So basically, she sends me an email back saying, well, I cannot call your doctor regarding your medical history because of HIPAA regulations or whatever. And I'm just like, first of all, no one asked you to talk to my doctor about my personal history. Second of all, it's not like my personal doctor. I have to get a new doctor. I recently got new benefits. I moved to a different area. I need to get a new doctor anyway, but with everything that's going on, it doesn't seem like that's going to happen anytime soon. Whatever, regardless. Basically, you sent me this BS email back or whatever. And I again sent the same email because she's like, as my previous email. She always does that crap. Like, she tries to sound so smart and it's just condescending and nasty. She's like, as per my previous email, you fit the characteristic too, as in I've been in contact with people, although it's been indirect contact, not direct contact with either of the people that I mentioned earlier in the story. So, basically, she's just like, oh, you fit this qualification, so you can get tested. And I'm like, at the bottom of the email, it also says, tests are limited. So it's like, read your own email. Sorry if I keep going this way. This is like, yeah, we read it this way. Sorry. My hands are going all over the place. So, tests are limited. Like, but she's not focused on that part. She's focused on, I came in contact with these people. I can get testing. Look, it says right here, you can get testing. And I repeat my email, and I said, as mentioned in my email, basically, these are the things, or I don't remember. I'm messing up this email sequence a little bit, but I know she sent me multiple emails insisting that, sorry, hold on one second. My cat's like eating something. Can you not, please? He's eating something that's not supposed to be eating. Hopefully he won't eat that piece of paper. It's just a piece of paper, but whatever. Anyway, so she sent several emails insisting that I can get tested, and then called me. She said I'm being uncooperative, basically, because I'm telling her I can't get a test. And it's just like, I don't understand what you don't understand. But whatever, regardless. And then Thursday. So Mike has this habit of, like, leaving, like, paper towels around that he uses, so now the cat's going ham on them and eating them and stuff. Very annoying. Anyway. Sorry. Stay focused on the story. So on top of that, Thursday, everyone's required to update a daily task sheet. Basically, being specific on what you worked on each and every day at the end of the day. And it's just like, it's crazy because we're already up to 3 meetings a week, 2 to 3 hours each, usually. Let's just say 2 meetings, and then he wanted to add a third. Well, we have usually a third meeting for our outsource guy, so that's not about our particular work. But all these meetings, and like we're still a small company, and my coworker and I are the only people in our positions, but yeah, we're having meetings 3-4 times a week, 2 or 3 hours each. It's like trying to get work done. And now also on top of that, the daily update of what we're working on, because apparently they have no clue what we're working on. My boss keeps making excuses saying, oh, but when you're in the office, we see what you're working on. I'm like, I can go weeks without, besides the meetings, nobody talks to me. Like, my coworker and I talk to each other. But nobody talks to me. Nobody sees what I'm working on. Usually my boss is out of the office. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes he's out of the office. So it's just like, I don't understand why all of a sudden we're working from home and you don't trust us to do our work now. Also, why are you hiring people that you don't trust? Like, so many things about the situation are just so, just making me so angry. So then Friday, we get an email about, Friday we get an email. So like I said, Thursday, I'm getting stuff set up. I'm setting up the phone. I'm setting up my desktop. I'm working on my laptop. It's kind of a crazy day trying to get into like a good flow of working or whatever. And I'm a multimedia / graphic designer, so I'm working on like some graphics right now and whatever. I like some website stuff, that kind of stuff. So Thursday, we get an email No, Friday. Friday we get an email. Yesterday. No, yesterday was Saturday. Sorry, I'm getting my days all mixed up. Friday we get an email at 10 o'clock saying that we are going to have a work in progress meeting at 11 o'clock. So that's an hour. So I'm like, okay, great. It's really hard, like, showing my work when it's a work in progress. Because, okay, so the one thing I'm working on is a black and white, like a newspaper ad kind of thing. So it needs to be black and white. However, the vector software that I was working in, you have to, like, export it to be black and white. You can't, like, view it in black and white. So when I showed it to them, it was in color. And one of the things my boss complained about, well, if this is a black and white image, why are you showing it to us in color? And I explained to him several times because it's not finished. And then he brought up several other complaints. Well, why is this like this? And why is that like that? I'm like, again, because it's not finished. And then I'm trying to explain that because it's going to be black and white, we can use this other logo, like just a white logo or a black logo, depending on if the background's black or white. And he's just like, well, why don't you have these made up yet? I'm like, because I just started yesterday. Basically, I was, like, fighting during this conference call with my boss because he wanted to see a work in progress and then was complaining that it was a work in progress and that it wasn't done yet. And then he insisted, like, he has no clue when anything's getting done. But basically, I just started this on Thursday because it was assigned to me on Wednesday, in addition to all the other stuff I'm working on. But he's like, you've had this all week to do this. And I'm like, no, I haven't. But he also always asks, like, several times we had to explain, this is, I open up by saying, introducing it, this is what I'm working on for this. And he's like, what is this? What is this for? And I'm just like, I just explained what it's for. But he constantly does that. Like, I don't know if he's older and he's just losing it, but, like, constantly he'll walk by, what are you working on? What's that for? And then, like, ask what's it for, like, he, like, no clue what's going on. But anyway, so we're also, my coworker and I are also working on this e-commerce site for him. And then he was like, look at the e-commerce site. He's like, oh, you changed this. And she's like, not since the last time we talked about that. And he's like, oh, no, it's definitely changed. And she's just like, I haven't touched it. So it's just like crap like that. So he's, like, calling me out. And I'm getting a little, like, annoyed now because he's pretty much saying that I've been doing nothing when I literally just started working from home and I had to get stuff set up and, like, I was working on stuff, but he's not happy that it's a work in progress. It's like there's a process to doing things. You can't just, like, I don't know. But it's like Tuesday is our e-commerce meeting and then Wednesday is our everything else meeting. So it's like he's like, well, since you're refusing to show us your work in progress, and I'm like, I'm literally showing it to you now. This this work in progress meeting, took an hour and a half, and we talked about, like, nothing. Like, that's all we ever talk about is just going in circles and circles about nonsense. Like, ugh. And then Mike read me an email that his company sent out on Friday, and I was so mad, because his company is so amazing. They treat all their employees just, like, amazingly. And it was basically an email just, like, respect people's boundaries. Just because they're working from home doesn't mean it's 24/7. Although Mike's schedule, like, he's really good. So sometimes he'll get stuff on his, like, off hours, but also when it's his downtime, he has, like, freedom to, like, he's also studying for, like, a test or whatever, so he'll do that in his downtime or, like, whatever. They don't care when you have downtime because they expect you to work when work needs to be done. It's just, like, a different, like, they respect him, like, there's a mutual respect between everybody. It's just such a weird, different, like, atmosphere. Meanwhile, my company doesn't care at all. So I don't understand, and I'm also like, so do we have to if we're going to have a meeting every day, because he's like, we're going to have another meeting on Monday because you refuse to show us your work in progress. I'm like, I'm literally showing it to you now, and then you're going to complain on Monday that it's still a work in progress. And he's like, well, when's it going to be done? And I'm like, Wednesday. Like, it's been since I started working here. Like, I don't know. And then he started telling me, like, how to do my job. And I'm just like, you're not a designer. You're not a marketing person. Like, you don't know anything. Because I always present, you know, numerous options to them. But he's acting like I've never done that before. I only just show one. I don't know, because I just don't know what goes through his brain. And I'm also having like this weird, like, butting heads of their, they have like an outsourced graphic designer guy. And like, they always like pit us against each other. It's really, really weird and makes me very, very uncomfortable. Like I said, the company is just so unprofessional. It's insane. So yeah, usually our meetings with him are on Thursdays. And then last week when we had our we had Tuesday, we had an e-commerce. So last Tuesday when we had our e-commerce site, he's like, maybe we should have another one on Friday. It's like, what do you think we're gonna get done on this specifically? Wednesday, Thursday, when we have other freaking meetings going on. It's just like, oh man, I just don't understand. So basically, he wanted us to have a meeting on Monday, and we're also providing these daily task review spreadsheet things of what we worked on. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so enough about that. I'm just having crazy hecticness with my work. I don't want to harp on it. It's the weekend. Whatever. But basically, I'm taking clients. So if you know anybody that needs logos, a website design, a website designed, anything of that, any kind of design work, I'm working with my local congregation, redoing their website and doing some marketing stuff for them, and then also hopefully working on some. I used to work in entertainment, so I really like doing a lot of that. I used to work 2 entertainment companies I used to work for. One was like more of a photography company, photography and videography, and then one was, I mean, they did that stuff, but they outsourced it, so it wasn't in-house. But mostly I did like other production stuff. For like other clients, I worked with, what is that show called? It's not Deal or No Deal, but they also had them as like a client for something. Oh my god, what is the show called? Oh, The Price is Right. So I did some work for The Price is Right through this company that I was working for, but also they did like, you know, like they had a bunch of different companies all meshed into one company. I don't know. So they worked with other clients and they worked with parties and events and stuff. So I really enjoyed that. Like I just did my sister's bridal shower invitations. I love doing invitations for weddings, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, baby showers, like anything. Or like if you need a logo for a wedding or like a bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah, anything. I love doing like merch stuff, so like hoodies or t-shirts. I love doing all that stuff. So if you know anybody, or if you yourself needs any of those services, please reach out to me. I might link my email in the description. Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to do it. I'll link my email in the description so you can reach out to me, or you can message me. Yeah, that's probably the best way to do it. I will put my email in the description so you can reach out to me. But yeah, I would love to start working with my own clients. I love working with clients. I love just making people happy, because a lot of times, you know, they're looking for something very specific and they want that customization. And I'm very willing to like work with people. I love working with people. And if you are not pleasant to work with, I will decline you, because I don't want to work with people I don't want to work with. I don't know. People can be so nasty to other people, and I just think, especially in these times, it's just so important to be kind to one another. It's just so important to be kind to one another. That's all I gotta say about that. So the rabbi, we have a new assignment, which Mike is currently failing. Our new assignment, what was our last assignment? Oh, it was like a detailed description of like our morning routines and what we want to do in our wedding and this and that and the other thing. So our new assignment is to write each other's biography. And I was telling the rabbi a story about how Mike didn't know that I was born in Brooklyn. A lot of Mike's family, I think all of Mike's family was born in Brooklyn except for him. And pretty much everyone in my family was born in Brooklyn except for my younger cousin. And he does not remember that. I'm like, how do you not remember that? It's like, my cat's knocking stuff off the table. I'm like, how do you not remember that? It's like, that's when my grandmother passed away, like, that was what made our families talk to each other. It's like just reminiscing about Brooklyn and this and that. And it's like, oh, do you know this place on this street and that place on that street? And it's like, how do you not remember that I was born in Brooklyn? Anyway, but so I was telling the rabbi about this. And Mike writes it down because I guess he didn't remember. And I'm like, I know. I just don't understand. I guess women just have better memories or something. Or I don't know, care more. Because, like, I know what day Michael was born, like, where he was born, what time he was born, how big he was when he was born. But there's actually, like, a thing to it. So we're getting married on July 11th, hopefully. So that's 7/11. And it's funny because Mike was born at 7:11 in the morning, and he weighed 7 pounds 11 ounces. So that's why we're going, and 11's my lucky number, and has been my lucky number since before I knew him. But 7/11 is also, like I said, very meaningful for him. So he's like, I bet you just paid a day for a wedding so I wouldn't forget it. And I'm like, I mean, no, but good point, because he obviously can't remember the area that I was born in. But anyway, so I'm telling the rabbi this story, and he writes it down. And then the other day we were talking, and he's like, oh, what's the homework again? He's like, oh yeah, I wrote it down on my phone so I wouldn't forget. I'm like, how? But, so this should be really interesting. I'm gonna write a great biography about him. Yeah, it's gonna be really funny, and I hope the rabbi likes it and gets a kick out of it. He's always, he's so funny, and he always gets a kick out of it when we're there, just because, I don't know, we like to, especially Mike likes to keep things interesting, as you previously saw, so never a dull moment, although sometimes I do want to kill him. Okay, I think this video has gone on long enough, my longest video. Sorry about the rant. I really do hope everyone stays safe. I know if you're in a situation like mine where you're being forced to come to work, although people are sick, it can be hard and it could be a little scary. Like I said, do your best, and I hope. Good luck to everyone, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe so you can see all my latest content. Hopefully, especially now that everything's like calmed down a little bit, I should be back to my weekly schedule of updating things, and hopefully I'll have more stuff that I'm stitching, just because, like I said, my eyesight's better. Although Mike and I are playing a lot more video games now, so usually I would get home after work, I'd come home, and I would cross stitch, but now Mike's like, attention, so I've been trying to give him the loving attention that he deserves, and that means playing video games with him. What else? Yeah, my rabbi, so for my morning routine, I usually like to get up at like 5 o'clock. I might start getting up earlier. He's like, why do you get up everyone asks me, why do you get up at 5 o'clock? And I'm like, it's the only time I have to myself. For the most part, Mike already works from home. But that's when I have time to myself. Like, no one's awake yet. I get stuff done, especially if I'm taking on, like, clients or whatever. Like, that's when I get anything done. Cross-stitching, that's when I get cross-stitching done. Client work, that's when I'm getting client work done. Like, that's just is what it is. Depending on how busy I am, though, I might have to start, like, telling Mike to, like, go away, because I need to start really focusing more on other stuff going on in my life. Anyway, so, again, subscribe so you know what's going on. Again, follow me on Instagram so you can see pictures that I'm posting at littlelionstitchery. Yeah, and all the updates, good juicy updates. And I think that's it. So enjoy the rest of your weekends and don't get sick. Actually, you know what, never mind. Yeah, just try not to get sick because nobody likes being sick. And these are crazy times we're living in right now. So good luck. See you next week.